You're watching Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior, and a lot of Warriors fans have slid in my DMs. They've hit me up on Twitter and Instagram, and I've seen all of the chatter on social media about all of this panic surrounding this basketball team following a 1-2 week in which the Warriors lost on the road to the Phoenix Suns and then lost over the weekend to the San Antonio Spurs. But a win mixed in there against those aforementioned Suns was very impressive at home. I'm not willing to hit the panic meter just yet. I do think, though, that at the middle part of this roster and at the bottom tier, we could be looking at a situation where Golden State looks to make some upgrades. And coming up later on today's show, we're going to take a look at some realistic Warriors trade targets to kind of round out this roster and give them a little bit more depth. As for what Steve Kerr had to say about that Spurs loss, which ended the Warriors' home winning streak following a night in which Golden State had ended the Phoenix Suns' 18-game winning streak, I had worried that the Warriors were going to come out of the gate slow. That's exactly what they did against San Antonio. Steve Kerr had said leading up to tip-off, this is a classic trap game. That's what came to fruition. Steve Kerr on that Spurs loss, the team was just drained. The effort was there. How do you question the effort when you're down 22 in the second half and climb all the way back and take the lead and have a chance to win? I mean, there would never be any questioning our effort. Our team we got a bunch of competitors, man, a bunch of gamers, and they competed. They gave everything. We just didn't have quite enough. And during the span of an 82-game schedule, sometimes your team just doesn't have enough, especially when you exhausted so much of that effort the night prior on Friday at the Chase Center in front of a lit home crowd, taking down the Suns and ending their 18-game winning streak. The Dubs really looked tired from that Suns win. And that's something that I had expected going into that Spurs game. The Spurs team, it's not the same Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker dynasty-era Spurs, but they are a very well-coached team, and they have some sneaky good players on that team like a DeJounte Murray. And Steph Curry, anytime he has a cold shooting spell like he did against the Spurs when he went 1 of 11 in the first half, he shot 7 of 28 for the game, chances are you're either going to be trying to eke out a win or you're going to be struggling to come out with a win. And that's what happened with the Golden State Warriors on Saturday night at the Chase Center, as I mentioned, ending that home winning streak. So for those of you freaking out right now, it's okay. Back end of a back-to-back classic trap game. I think the Warriors are going to be okay, and in my opinion, still the best team in the NBA. Before we take a look at some of those realistic Warriors trade targets, if you're still confident about Golden State, show that you're confident about this bunch. Hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. As for some of these Warriors mid to low tier trade targets, that's how I'm categorizing these players, because they can be had at a pretty affordable price, and you're not going to have to give up the likes of a Andrew Wiggins or a James Wiseman, Moses Moody, or Jonathan Kuminga, a.k.a. the Cum Bucket. These guys can be had for a very affordable price. We're talking about the likes of TJ McConnell, a nice little point guard for the Indiana Pacers. Kelly Olynyk, a stretch big man who's playing for the Detroit Pistons. DJ Augustin is playing for the Houston Rockets right now. Corey Joseph barely getting any time for a really bad Detroit Pistons team that's rebuilding. Thomas Satoransky, TJ McConnell, and Kelly Olynyk, three guys who I'm pretty intrigued by. Satoransky not really getting any burn right now with the New Orleans Pelicans, and all of these guys are playing for bad teams. That's why they might be made available as we get closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline. As for TJ McConnell, I like him. Went to Arizona and was an undrafted free agent, went to Philadelphia, flourished. A classic example of a guy who nobody gave an opportunity to really carve a role for himself in the NBA. But a classic prototypical point guard, a poor man's Steve Nash, who isn't going to really shoot a lot of balls from beyond the arc, but can create, is a good passer, is really gritty, plays with 110% every single night, and is a good defender and is a dog on that end, not afraid to get up in your grill. His numbers this year for the Pacers in a backup point guard role, 8.5 points per game, little less than 5 dimes, a steal per game, and he's shooting around 50%. He'll occasionally spot up and shoot a three, but that's not really in his offensive arsenal. Think of TJ McConnell as almost a better version of Chris Chiozza. I saw him play the other night against the Phoenix Suns, and I like what I saw. kind of a floor general from Chris, but TJ McConnell is just simply the better option. He's also pretty affordable, more expensive than Chiozza, but I like McConnell a little bit more as a player. So I want to test you with this question. If you had to pick one to occupy a roster spot on Golden State, who would you go with? Type TJ, type CC, get those votes in right now. Also, make sure you subscribe to Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but our subscribers have gone up dramatically, and because of that, and our video views just really popping off over the last couple of months, we've been pushing out almost daily videos all for free here on the channel. So if you like what you're seeing, just hit that red subscribe button down below and be a part of the Dub Nation family here at Chat Sports that's approaching 25,000 subscribers. As for Kelly Olynyk, classic modern-day value, because he's a stretch big man who enjoys camping out around the three-point arc, is a pretty good three-point shooter, and I really like the playoff experience that he's been able to stack up throughout his career, and I kind of like his fit on this Warriors team. He brings you a lot of what Nemanja Bjelica brings you, and that's why I'm not sure you have to make a trade for Kelly Olynyk, because he's a very similar player to Nemanja Bjelica. But on that porous Pistons team, 12.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, shooting almost 46% from the hardwood and 34% from distance, those are good numbers for a big man. We're talking about a guy who's a floor stretcher who could open up some driving lanes for Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson when he comes back, and because he can hover around the three-point arc, you can still get away with playing a Kevon Looney or a James Wiseman down low. I also really like his experience. Not only has he been in the league for a long time, he has played in a lot of big games throughout his NBA career, most notably with the Boston Celtics, where there have been moments where he's put the team on his back. As for DJ Augustin, I don't like him. He's not really playing at all with the Houston Rockets. In the past, he's been somewhat of a volume scorer who can be a little bit of a flamethrower coming in off the bench. Now, why isn't he playing with the Houston Rockets? I don't think it comes down to ability. Really what Houston is doing right now, they're putting all their chips in the table with all of their young players. They're going to see which young players they're going to keep around moving forward. A clear rebuilding effort for Houston. That's why DJ ain't playing. As for Thomas Satoransky, outside of McConnell and Olynyk, I like him. Thomas Satoransky can really play. Didn't really start his NBA career later because he played internationally, but a very good dish-first point guard who can score a little bit and also kind of brings you what a TJ McConnell would bring you as well. He might be a little bit more affordable than a guy like TJ McConnell, but as a floor general, as a point guard who can play alongside Steph Curry, if Steph Curry wants to play the two, Satoransky would be able to fit in. As for Corey Joseph, really doesn't do anything for me. I mean, sometimes he can be a solid defender. Sometimes he can be relied upon to shoot some balls from distance and make some plays happen. But if you're not playing with some of these really bad teams, it really tells me you're just kind of washed and not very good at this point, and I want players who can make an impact on this team. So among the 5 that we broke down, which player do you like the most? Just drop me some names in the comment section down below and let me know which player you would be intrigued the Warriors trading for. And one more reminder to subscribe to the channel as we quickly approach 25,000 subscribers. We're trying to catch the Lakers report. They're at 39,000 plus. Let's get it. Dub Nation, stand up.